Egypt, several years ago. A young boy is leaving the theater with his parents. All is well when, bang, 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 the boy watches his parents die in front of him. Gotham, then. Batman and Robin swing through Gotham City, remembering the feeling of swinging through the cool, crisp air, remembering the feeling of leaving everything out there and everything just down in the chase. Gotham City now. Dick Grayson is known as Agent 37 because his identity was released to the public. He was once the first Robin, Batman's first partner. He is in pursuit of a high-tech weapons designer with a high-tech motorcycle driving straight up the side of a skyscraper. His contact on the radio tells him he is off mission. Dick says, "Don't worry, I called for backup." Gunfire suddenly rains down all around them. Then we see the Red Hood dangling from the side of the building. Red Hood is also known as Jason Todd, Batman's second partner. He died, but he's back with a vengeance. He asks Grayson, "So how many holes can I put in our friend here?" Grayson quickly responds as, "Non-lethal, Red Hood, stay non-lethal." Jason then responds, "Just relax, Grayson. I'm just killing windows tonight. I just need him to make it a few more stories." When all of a sudden, boom! An explosion throws the man down the side of the building, but he lands on the edge of the roof. He is then confronted by another Robin, but this time it's Tim Drake, Batman's third partner, who is also known as Red Robin. Tim is a tech genius with the IQ of 142, and he tells the man his tech is impressive, but his supercomputer on his wrist has already rewritten the fingerprint-sensitive triggers on all of his weapons, rendering them all completely useless. Suddenly, Dick and Jason show up behind the man, and Tim says, "If I were you, I would surrender." Dick and Jason both wind up and wail on the man's face, and they knock him out cold. Tim points out that he could have fried his neural computer with the push of a single button. "But you guys could take the easy way out," Tim says judgingly. Jason turns to the guys and asks, "Who wants to go get a drink?" Tim points out, "I'm only 16 years old," but Jason knows he can find somewhere that will allow Tim to drink. It's Gotham City after all. Tim turns to Dick and asks him, "How does it feel to be up here and seeing the city from this angle once again?" He explains that it feels strange, because now he's a spiral agent, and his job is to track and spy on superheroes. It just doesn't feel right. They also mention that Bruce cannot even remember working with any of them. Alfred keeps calling, asking what we should do with all the stuff in the Batcave. And there's also a new police-sanctioned Batman. Robotic is all held, piloted by the one and only Jim Gordon, roaming the streets of Gotham. It is a totally new Gotham. Jason jumps in and calls dibs on a few of the Batmobiles. Dick tells the guys that he's going to get back to his spiral business. They both offer their help to Dick, but Dick turns it down and says, "No guys, it's secret spy business." The Narrows. Over the radio, Jim Gordon, the new Batman, hears, "We lost her again." Jim responds on the radio to Daryl, "How much was the R&D budget for this robotic bat suit?" And he radios back, "We are in the 8 figures, Jim." And yet, a teenage girl has managed to outthink every bit of tech that we use to track her down. Jim responds mockingly. Then Jim finds a homemade router that's attached to a car battery. A pretty ingenious thing if you think about it. Jim reaches over and leans down and lifts a nearby trash can, revealing Bluebird.
Oh, crap!
Bluebird is also known as Harper Row. She is a tech genius that makes some amazing gadgets and toys, and has long wanted to be Batman's new partner. Jim tells Bluebird she is coming with him. Batman is not going to let a kid die on the streets while she thinks she's living the life of a video game. Bluebird stands up and says,
"You are not Batman. I know Batman, and I fought beside him. He was gonna train me to be the best."
Gordon quickly interrupts her. "We're not taking new applications for Robin this time." Bluebird asks Gordon,
"Is your robot suit EMP proof?"
Then suddenly, Bluebird's whistle happened to have a strange effect. She hit the right frequency and was able to decentralize the suit's computer and froze every single joint in the new Batsuit. She leans over to Jim and says,
"Good luck catching me,"
as she swings off the roof. Elsewhere, Dick is infiltrating a grand opening of a newly renovated Gotham State University Tower of Enlightenment. There is intel that points to a dirty bomb somewhere in the area, and Dick is walking around to see what he sees on the walls. He suddenly stops and stares at a painting. He remembers the case that brought him to this very room when he was Robin. Dick explains it was their first encounter with Scarecrow. They were tracking breakouts of fear throughout Gotham, when all of a sudden they were attacked by half a dozen thugs in scarecrow masks. Dick remembers what that case did to the relationship between him and Batman, when suddenly Dick turns around and he sees a bunch of creepy looking kids staring back at him. "You're right, Dick. This all started here. That's why she thought it would be a good place for you to die." Dick tries to radio in for backup, but no answer. The kid says, "And no big bad bat to save the day." Then the children all pull out guns and aim it at Dick. They all start firing as he runs and flips off the wall, avoiding all the gunshots. The kids yell, "We're not gonna kill you, Dick. The orphan is on his way." The kids say Mother isn't cruel. After all, she's just tidying up her mistakes. "And that's all you are, Dick. One big mistake." Dick says, "Screw this," and jumps out the stained glass window. Dick gets back to the van where his partner's waiting, and he tells her, "We've been compromised. Start the van. Let's go." Dick opens the back of the door to get into the van and sees his partner pointing a gun straight at his face. He quickly dodges and reaches for his motorcycle as she shoots him and grazes him through the arm, but he is still able to get away. She calls out to the orphan to inform him that the target escaped, and the orphan answered, "Orphan en route." Grayson frantically tries to get a hold of somebody. "Tim, Jason, Batgirl." He said, "I'm injured and I need help. I'm heading to the Batcave to make some sense of all this." When all of a sudden, Dick is kicked off his bike. When he looks up, there's a woman standing in front of him. Dick rushes her and says, "I'm one of the best trained fighters around," as she catches him with a foot to the face, catching him off guard and begins to pummel Dick blow after blow. Dick tells her, "I see your form and you're holding back. Those blows can easily be deadly. Why are you holding back?" She slowly responds. Dick asks her, "Are you orphan?" She says no. She says the word
Mother.
and then she leans in and hands Dick a flash drive with the bat symbol on it. Dick looks around and then slowly looks up to ask, and she's gone. Back with Harper Row. She is just getting home and telling her sister all about what happened. Her sister says, "I worry about you." Her sister tends to worry about her very often, so she calms her sister down and says,
"I'm going to take a shower, and then we can watch a gruesome movie together."
As she walks to the door, a voice slowly says, "Harper Row." She turns around to see Orphan. He tells her, "You are the key, and that's why you must die." Dick then arrives at the Batcave. He goes to the computer to find out if he can find any files on Orphan or Mother. Nothing comes up. Dick decides he's going to insert the flash drive into the Bat computer, and then bam! Files pop up all over the room. Suddenly, all the names of all the Robins pop up. Dick doesn't know what's going on. Why are all our names on here? And the computer slowly says, "Voice recognized. Commence playback." Dick turns around to see a hologram of Batman standing behind him. The recording explains that Bruce is not the man that Dick thought he was, and Mother is one of his greatest sins. He begs him to stay alive and please forgive him for what he has done. Dick says, "Bruce, what did you do back in Cairo, Egypt several years ago?" The boy sits next to his parents and their dead bodies bleeding out into the street. When he hears, "It's me, it's done," the boy turns around and sees Batman standing over his parents with a gun. The radio calls back to Batman and says, "The child is ready for acquisition then." And Batman says, "Yes, Mother. Everything went according to plan." So James Tynion and Scott Snyder wrote an amazing story, and the art by Tony Daniel was just phenomenal. This all around was a great book. I really enjoyed the way it's going. Batman and Robin Eternal is just something really cool. We got to meet all kinds of different Robins. Not all of them, but we got to meet the major Robins. Even got to get in there a little bit with Bluebird, which was really cool. And being able to see the progression of Dick as Spiral Agent and just being betrayed and going his own route and trying to take this on his own. I can't wait to see what happens. Totally was a great book, very well laid out. The panels were phenomenal, just great art. I love the transitions in the panels themselves. But guys, all around, I really did enjoy this book quite a bit. Definitely go pick it up at your local comic book shop. But for my rating, I'm actually going to rate this book at a solid 8 out of 10. It was a really cool book. There are very few things I would have changed. I like the progression of the story and balancing all those characters, and it's still making perfect sense and being laid out so well was great. Love Scott Snyder. If you guys are not a fan of Scott Snyder, what's wrong with you? He is just a great writer, one of the coolest ones, and one of my favorite favorite DC writers. So definitely let me know what you guys thought about this comic down in the comments down below. Let me know if you enjoyed this recap and review, and as always, if there's any other comics you'd like to see me do a recap and review to, make sure to put them down in the comments below, guys, and I will get to them as soon as I can. But thank you guys very much for tuning into this one. I hope you enjoyed Batman and Robin Eternal #1. We will be continuing the story on this channel, so make sure to subscribe to stay tuned. If you like this video, rate it with that big thumbs up. And I will see you guys next time right here on Nerdsmerize for another recap and review. Peace out.
If you liked the video you just saw, make sure you rate it with that big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe so you can check out all the other nerdy videos we have just like this one. Also check out my Patreon account and become a patron if you like for access to exclusive content.